Hello again. In this lesson, we continue work with the simple past tense. We will look at various WH word questions with the past tense. Look at this graphic. Common questions in the simple past are made with the WH question words why, where, when, and what time, just as we make them in the present tense. So the questions, why did you go? Answers, I had an appointment, or because I had an appointment, or I went because I had an appointment. Why asks for reasons. Where did you sleep? At my friend's house, or I slept at my friend's house. Where for location. When did you leave? Yesterday, or I left yesterday. When for time. And what time did you leave? At midnight. I left at midnight. I left at 12 o'clock. What time? Specific time. Notice that there are both short answers and long answers. Also notice that the expressions when and what time both ask for time information. However, what time is very specific, usually asking for clock time. When can be used with any time expression. All right. Now, look at this graphic. Because is a word that signals an explanation, gives a reason. So, because I didn't have time, or because she forgot her handbag, or because they didn't have enough money, because he wasn't in the library, because Stefano used all of the gasoline. These are reasons, or excuses, but reasons. And then why, the question word, asks for reasons, and because indicates the reasons. So, why didn't you visit the museum? I didn't have time, or because I didn't have time. Why did Yukiko leave the restaurant? Because she forgot her handbag. Why didn't they buy the fax machine? Because they didn't have enough money. Why didn't he study with Ramon? Because he wasn't in the library. Or why didn't they drive to Chicago? Because Stefano used all of the gasoline. Okay? Let's try a practice now. Listen carefully while I read the following passage. It's about Yukiko's experience at a bank. You know, a bank is a place where we keep money. Okay. Last Tuesday, Yukiko needed to make a bank deposit. And she also needed some cash. On her lunch break, at about 12:15, she visited the branch of First National Bank near her office. She went first to a table which held banking forms. She filled out her deposit slip, and she endorsed the 2 checks which she wanted to deposit. She put these things in a deposit envelope and walked to one of the automatic teller machines. She put her bank card in the ATM slot, automatic teller machine, entered the necessary information, put her deposit envelope in another ATM slot, and the transaction was complete. Next, she entered the information for a cash withdrawal from her checking account, put her card in the slot again, and took the cash as it dropped from another slot in the machine. It was fast and easy. Notice, there are a lot of new words in the exercise, right? Bank deposit, cash, money, no doubt, right? Branch is a different location for the bank, not the head office, a different location. We often use for complete or right. Slip is another word for form. Endorse is another word for signing. And checks, you know, are those that we write. Automatic teller machine, those are the machines. And transaction is the job to be done. Withdrawal, taking money out. Checking account is that account that you write checks against. And there you have it. Now, watch the screen closely. I'm going to read these sentences one more time. Last Tuesday, Yukiko needed to make a bank deposit, and she also needed some cash. On her lunch break, at about 12:15, she visited the branch of First National Bank near her office. She went first to a table which held banking forms. She filled out her deposit slip and she endorsed the 2 checks which she wanted to deposit. She put these things in a deposit envelope and walked to one of the automatic teller machines. She put her bank card in the ATM slot, entered the necessary information, put her deposit envelope in another ATM slot, and the transaction was complete. Next, she entered the information for a cash withdrawal from her checking account, put her card in the slot again, and took the cash as it dropped from another slot in the machine. It was fast and easy. All right, let's practice. Listen while I ask WH questions. Where, when, what time, why. And I'll ask those questions about the bank passage. Listen carefully, then try to say an answer. Speak aloud, of course. Let's begin. Why did Yukiko go to the bank? And you say, because she needed to make a deposit. Or, she needed to make a deposit. Pretty easy, right? So here we go. Why did Yukiko go to the bank? Exactly, because she needed to make a deposit. Now listen to this one. When did Yukiko go to the bank? She went to the bank last Tuesday. That's right, or she went on her lunch break. Great. How about, what time did Yukiko go to the bank? Yes, you could say that. She went to the bank on her lunch break, or you could say the precise time at 12:15. She went to the bank at 12:15. Good. And where did Yukiko go last Tuesday? Yeah, that's easy. She went to the bank, or simply to the bank. Let's try that practice again, because it involves all 4 question words. Okay. Why did Yukiko go to the bank? Precisely, because she needed to make a deposit. When did Yukiko go to the bank? She went last Tuesday. What time did Yukiko go to the bank? She went on her lunch break, or she went to the bank at 12:15. And where did Yukiko go last Tuesday? Yes, indeed, she went to the bank. That's great. Now, I have an exercise for you. And in the exercise, you will practice with WH questions in the past tense. You'll see sentences from the passage about Yukiko's visit to the bank. Your job is to write an appropriate WH word question. So use where, when, what time, or why. Here's an example. You'll see Yukiko needed some cash. And you will write an appropriate question. Why did Yukiko go to the bank? Because, that's it, because she needed some cash. Pretty easy, huh? Okay. Pause your program, look at your study guide, and complete the exercise. Let's review that exercise about the bank passage. You saw Yukiko needed some cash, and you wrote the question, why did Yukiko go to the bank? Then you saw she needed to make a deposit, and you wrote, why did she go to the bank? Okay. And then Yukiko went to the bank last Tuesday. You wrote, where did she go last Tuesday? Or you may have written, when did Yukiko go to the bank? Tuesday. You saw she went on her lunch break, and you wrote, what time did she go? Or when did she go to the bank? And you saw she went to the bank about 12:15. You wrote, what time did she go? Excellent work. Welcome back. In this lesson, we will study the imperative in English. The imperative is a verb form which we use for commands. It's very easy. Also for requests and for giving instructions. We'll continue to use the banking vocabulary from the last lesson. Look at the graphic. We use the base form, the simple form of the verb, to make the imperative. Write clearly. Be careful. Open the door. Very simple stuff. We use don't or do not for the negative. Don't open the door. And we can use frequency adverbs before the imperative also. Never open the door, children. Notice that the verb form doesn't change. Why? Because we understand that the subject of the sentence is always you. You, second person, or you all. It isn't necessary to write the subject, and we don't. Now, as I said, the imperative also includes requests and instructions. So look at the graphic. You'll see some polite requests. Please don't smoke here. Open the window, please. Please take this form to the teller. Polite. Now, look at these instructions. They might be given by a teacher or an authority, right? Complete the deposit slip by writing the total amount. Write your last name first. Print clearly. Take both forms to the next office. One more thing. For requests that involve the speaker, we use let's, meaning let us. Let's. These are called inclusive requests, right? It includes the speaker. Let's is a contraction for let us, so look at this graphic. Let's take a break. Let's go to the bank on our way to work. Negative. Let's not take our laptops. Let's not spend every penny. And then polite requests also occur as questions. Note these two polite requests. Why don't we go to the office? Why don't we go to the office? Or why don't we take a break? We'll use the imperative in our oral practice, and we'll also use verbs and expressions from the banking passage. Are we ready? Okay. In this practice, we will give oral instructions. Remember to speak aloud, of course. We'll give instructions to Yukiko. Remember, Yukiko is the one who visited the bank. And we'll use verbs and expressions from that passage. You can review the banking passage from the last lesson if you wish. But let's continue. You'll see a verb and a prompt. For example, go and bank. And you'll make the request or the command, Yukiko, please go to the bank. Or, not so polite, Yukiko, go to the bank. Okay? Here's another one. Make deposit. Yukiko, make a deposit at the bank. Or, Yukiko, make a deposit. Okay? Let's try it. Go, bank. Go to the bank. Or, Yukiko, go to the bank. Make deposit. Yukiko, make a deposit. Get cash. Yukiko, get cash. Or Yukiko, get some cash. Endorse the checks. Yukiko, endorse the checks. Fill out slip. Fill out the slip. Easy. Put them envelope. Yukiko, put them in an envelope, or Yukiko, put them in a deposit envelope. All right? Go ATM. Go to the ATM. Put card. Yukiko, put your card in the ATM slot. Or put your bank card in the ATM slot. Enter the information. Please enter the information on the form. Or Yukiko, enter the information on the deposit slip. And finally, take the cash. Take the cash. Or Yukiko, take the cash. That's good. Now, do you feel like an exercise? All right. Same story. You will be asked to write complete requests or instructions. And you'll be using the same verbs. You'll see go, and then next to go you will write the request, go to the bank. You may make it polite, please go to the bank, and you may include Yukiko, Yukiko, go to the bank. Okay, here's another one. You'll see make, and you'll write, make a deposit, please, or make a cash withdrawal, please, or Yukiko, make a deposit. Like that. Pretty easy. Put your program on, look at your study guide, and complete that exercise. Return here when you finish. All right, let's review. You saw a verb, go, and you wrote a command or a request using the banking passage, information, or vocabulary. So, for go, you wrote, please go to the bank on your lunch break. Or Yukiko, go to the bank. Make, you wrote, make a deposit to your account. Get, you wrote, please get some cash. Or Yukiko, please get some cash. Go, you wrote, go to the table which holds the banking forms. Or you wrote, go to the bank. Fill out, you wrote, fill out the deposit slip. Endorse, you wrote, endorse your checks. Put, you wrote, Yukiko, put those things in the deposit envelope. Or Yukiko, put the slip in the deposit envelope. You saw put, and you wrote, put your bank card in the ATM slot. And then enter, you wrote, enter the necessary information. And you saw put again and wrote, put the deposit envelope in the ATM slot. Or something like that. Very good job. Hi there. In this lesson, we will learn the use of two important words, some and any. Both words indicate amount. Indicate means to show, right? These words are used often in American English. Look at the graphic. In general, we use some in positive sentences. Yusuf withdrew some money from his bank. Yukiko got some cash from the ATM. And we use any in negative sentences. Hideo doesn't have any American dollars. Yusuf and Yukiko don't have any more money. And in most questions, we also use any. Does Hideo write any checks in Japanese yen? Do the Hills have any computer software? Isn't there any chalk for the blackboard? Okay, but if we expect a yes answer, or if we ask for things, we often use some. Would you like some coffee? Yes. Doesn't the plant need some water? Well, yes, of course it does. Okay, note, any is also used with if. For example, if I get any messages, please tell my assistant. All right. The words some and any are also combined with several other words, just to make it more complicated. Actually, they make useful compound words. Compound means put together. So look at these compounds. Anyone, anybody, anything, anywhere. What's the meaning? It doesn't matter which. Anyone. And someone, somebody, something, somewhere. And the meaning, an unknown person or thing, someone. And they're used just as some and any are used in sentences. Okay, for example, you can play anywhere you wish. I don't feel like doing anything. Raul doesn't love anybody. Or, I'm looking for someone for the new position. Somebody here left the door open. Or, I'm tired of staying in the house, let's go somewhere. All right, let's practice with these. We'll try some negative sentences with the word any. For example, I'll say a verb and object like make money. And you say a negative sentence using make and money. For example, Yukiko didn't make any money. Right. Here's another one. Get cash. Yusuf didn't get any cash. Fun, huh? All right, let's try them. Make money. Yukiko didn't make any money. Get cash. Yusuf didn't get any cash. He didn't get any cash. Good. Let's continue. Want coffee. She didn't want any coffee. Deposit checks. He didn't deposit any checks. Endorse checks. She didn't endorse any checks. Receive email. He didn't receive any email. Wash dishes. They didn't wash any dishes. That's great. Now let's try another kind of practice, this time with compound words with any. Pay close attention so you use the proper form. Things, anything, people, anyone or anybody, places, anywhere. So I'll say the verb, go, and the subject, Raul, and you'll say, Raul doesn't go anywhere. I'll say another one, go, and Yukiko. You'll say, Yukiko doesn't go anywhere. Or Yukiko didn't, past tense, go anywhere. Okay? Here we go. Go, Raul. Raul doesn't go anywhere. Okay? Go, Yukiko. Yukiko didn't go anywhere. That's good. Make Yusuf. Yusuf didn't make anything. That's great. Get he. He doesn't get anything. Or past tense, he didn't get anything. All right? Like Raul. Raul doesn't like anybody, people, or he doesn't like anything. Drive they. They didn't drive anywhere. Visit she. She doesn't visit anywhere or people. She doesn't visit anybody. Good. Want they? They don't want anything. That's great. Let's try an exercise. Okay? In the exercise, you'll have a chance to complete some sentences, and of course, using someone, somebody, something, somewhere. Okay? For example, you'll see an incomplete sentence like, blank left the door open. And you simply write, somebody left the door open, right? Not something, somebody. Or someone. Great. One more. The Hills want to go blank. And you write, yes, the Hills want to go somewhere. All right? Pause your program, look at the study guide, and complete the exercise. Let's review. All right? You saw the blank and then left the door open. You completed the sentence with someone left the door open, or perhaps somebody left the door open. Then, the Hills want to go, and you completed somewhere. Something is missing from this list. Good. He wanted somebody to be the director. Someone would be okay. Yukiko went somewhere to get cash. They drove somewhere over the weekend. Maria loves someone, but she won't tell us, or Maria loves somebody. The manager told someone to do the job. Somebody would be okay. And Yusuf walked somewhere after dinner. Finally, Raoul put something in the envelope. That's great. Hello there. In this lesson, we will study another group of English pronouns, object pronouns. As we learned in an earlier lesson, pronouns are replacements for words. They're replacements for nouns. We've also already studied subject pronouns like I, we, they, and demonstrative pronouns like this, these. Object pronouns are also very common. Look at the graphic. The object of a sentence usually follows the verb. It provides what or whom information, so a thing or a person. What does Arturo want? The what is, he wants the checkbook. Whom does Yukiko love? I don't know for certain, but she loves somebody, person, right? So the object pronouns, singular ones, me, you, him, her, and it. And then the plural forms, us, you, and them. And of course, them can be people and things. Object pronouns can also follow prepositions. So, in this example, Yukiko found the ATM. She put her bank card into it. It refers back to the ATM. Okay? Now, look at the answers in this graphic. They all use object pronouns, and they refer to Yukiko's trip to the bank. Yes, she found them on a table. You can remember what. And yes, she put it in the ATM slot. You remember. No, he didn't go with her. Yes, she endorsed them in the bank. Yes, she got it from the ATM. All those object pronouns, right? Now, the object pronouns in those answers refer to information in questions. Can you think of the questions? Well, listen carefully. I'll say them. You choose the correct answer from the graphic. So, did Yukiko find deposit slips in the bank? You see on the graphic? Yes, she found them on a table. Did she use her bank card? You see the answer? Yes, she put it in the ATM slot. Did Arturo go with Yukiko to the bank? You see the answer. No, he didn't go with her. And did Yukiko endorse her checks? Yes, she endorsed them in the bank. And did Yukiko get any cash? Answer, you see it. Yes, she got it from the ATM. Okay, now here's a practice with another bank passage. A little different. Listen carefully. The next time Yukiko went to the bank, she didn't use the automatic teller machine. She wanted to purchase some traveler's checks. She had to wait in line until a teller was free. There were 8 tellers serving the customers in the bank. Yukiko walked to teller window number 3. She purchased her traveler's checks. She signed the checks in front of the teller. Then the teller put the checks into a traveler's checkbook. She gave the checks and a receipt to Yukiko. Okay, fairly simple, and we kind of know the vocabulary now. Now listen to the passage just one more time. This time you'll see the objects of each sentence highlighted in the graphic. The next time Yukiko went to the bank, she didn't use the automatic teller machine. She wanted to purchase some traveler's checks. She had to wait in line until a teller was free. There were 8 tellers serving the customers in the bank. Yukiko walked to teller window number 3. She purchased her traveler's checks. She signed the checks in front of the teller. Then the teller put the checks into a traveler's checkbook. She gave the checks and a receipt to Yukiko. Okay, so now it's time for an exercise. You'll have to complete sentences from this passage with the appropriate object pronouns, right? Pay attention to singular and plural words. So, for example, you'll see in your study guide one of the sentences from the passage, and it is, the next time Yukiko went to the bank, she didn't use blank. And you need the appropriate object pronoun for the automatic teller machine. And that would be it, precisely. Okay? Or you will see she wanted to purchase blank. And that refers to some traveler's checks, so them. Yeah, that's it. Put your program on pause and look at the study guide, complete the exercise, return here. Let's review that exercise. Another bank passage. You saw a sentence with a blank. The next time Yukiko went to the bank, she didn't use, and you provided the appropriate object pronoun for the automatic teller machine, which was it. Second sentence, she wanted to purchase blank, and she wanted to purchase them, you wrote. Next, she had to wait in it for a line until the teller was free. Good. 4, there were 8 tellers serving the customers in it, the bank, right? Yukiko walked to teller window number 3. She purchased them, traveler's checks, right? She signed them in front of the teller. Then the teller put them into it, them, the checks, into an envelope, and she gave them to Yukiko. That's good. Hello again. In this lesson, we'll take up the subject of possessives. Take up means to consider or study, right? We studied possessives a little when we learned about the verb have. The sentence, Grace has an automobile, shows possession, right? Means the automobile belongs to Grace. Another way of saying this is the automobile is hers, or we identify the automobile as belonging to Grace when we say the automobile is Grace's. Grace's. First, let's consider possessive forms of nouns. We make the possessive forms of nouns with apostrophe S. Grace's automobile is red. Umberto's new personal computer is very small. The possessive form of plural nouns and names which end with S is often made with only an apostrophe. So Ross's PC is broken. It doesn't work. You see only an apostrophe, but we usually pronounce Ross's. And you'll see the girls' bicycles are lost. Girls' apostrophe. Okay, what nouns can be made possessive? Look at the sentences in this graphic. A cat's tongue is very rough. That is Grace's new digital camera. The university's buildings are modern and large. The air's fragrance is amazing. Yesterday's bread is hard and stale. The pager's ring is hardly audible. Audible means able to be heard. These nouns are all quite different, right? But in general, certain classes of nouns are made possessive. Living things like cats, including people, Grace. Collective nouns like university, collections of people, offices, buildings, etc. Things from nature like air. The air's fragrance and expressions of time like yesterday or last year's roses. All right? Most other non-living or inanimate things, nouns, are not made possessive. We usually make the noun part of a prepositional phrase. So it's the top of the blackboard, or the kind of computer. Not the computer's kind, the kind of computer, the kind of laptop. Okay. Your job is to make statements using possessive nouns. I'll tell you the noun and some information about it, and you make the noun possessive and complete the statement. It's kind of fun. Here are a couple of examples. I say Grace, automobile. And you say Grace's automobile is red. Or Grace's automobile is broken. Or Grace's automobile is an SUV. I don't care, but that's good. How about Raoul pencil? Raoul's pencil is broken. Raoul's pencil is big. Raoul's pencil is mechanical. That's good. All right, let's try them. Here we go. Grace, automobile. Grace's automobile is an SUV. Good. Raoul, pencil. Raoul's pencil is broken. Maria, printer. Maria's printer is fast. Maria's printer is color capable. Okay? Yukiko, checkbook. Yukiko's checkbook is always busy. All right? Yusuf, bank account. Yusuf's bank account is very large. Good. Hideo, deposit. Hideo's deposit is very small. Roberto, uncle. Roberto's uncle is famous, okay? Ahmed, computer. Ahmed's computer is small. Good. Mrs. Hill, dishes. Mrs. Hill's dishes are sparkling clean, yes. The cat, tongue. The cat's tongue is rough. Today, weather. Today's weather is partly cloudy. That's very good. Now, we'll continue forming possessive nouns in this exercise. And you'll write sentences with the names of your family members. So in this exercise, you'll see nouns which correspond to members of your family, nouns like sister and mother. And then you must write the names of your relatives with possessive nouns in statements. It's pretty easy. So you'll see sister and a blank line, and you'll write, my sister's name is Maria, for example. Or you'll see father, and you'll write, my father's name is Harold. Pretty easy. Okay? So put your program on pause, look at your study guide, and please do the exercise. Come back here when you finish. All right, let's review that family exercise. Here we go. You saw sister, and you wrote the sentence with the possessive, my sister's name is Minerva. Father, my father's name is Harold. Uncle, my uncle's name is Boris. My aunt's name is Serena. My mother's name is Jocelyn. And my brother's name is Takahiko. My grandfather's name is Gondolfo. And my grandmother's name is Emily. All right? That's fine. Very good. Hello. In this lesson, we'll complete our study of possessive forms. We will take up possessive adjectives and possessive pronouns. They're closely related. Listen carefully and watch the screen while I read the following passage about Maya and Willie. They have just moved into a new apartment. Willie unlocked the apartment door. They both entered the apartment and Maya turned on the overhead light. She said, Willie, I can't believe that this is our apartment. Yes, Willie replied. He pointed to the living room, and I want my desk in that corner. Maya said, okay, you put your desk in that corner. I want to put my desk in our bedroom. We need a convertible sofa for the living room. Then we can invite friends to spend the night, and the sofa will be their bed. Willie said, that's all right with me, but let's move our bed in here first. And what about the cat? Do you have any plans for his bed? Right now he thinks what's ours is his. Okay, listen once more and read along with me as I read the passage again. Now, note the highlighted words in the passage. They are either possessive adjectives or possessive pronouns, and they're used to indicate possession. Here we go. Willie unlocked the apartment door. They both entered the apartment and Maya turned on the overhead light. She said, Willie, I can't believe that this is our apartment. Yes, Willie replied. He pointed to the living room, and I want my desk in that corner. Maya said, okay, you put your desk in that corner. I want to put my desk in our bedroom. We need a convertible sofa for the living room. Then we can invite friends to spend the night, and the sofa will be their bed. Willie said, that's all right with me, but let's move our bed in here first. And what about the cat? Do you have any plans for his bed? Right now, he thinks what's ours is his. Okay. Now let's take a look at these possessive words. They are both adjectives and pronouns. Look at the graphic. Here are the possessive adjectives. My, your, his, her, its, our, and their, and whose. Now, these are possessive adjectives, so they're all used with nouns. My book, your hat, etc. And then the possessive pronouns, mine, yours, his, hers, nothing for it, and then ours, theirs, and whose. Whose in this case is almost always used in questions. Whose book is that? Or whose is that? Okay? Adjectives we learned before precede a noun, come before. So possessive adjectives come before the nouns for which they show possession. Look at these. This is my watch, adjective, right? And then the pronoun, the watch is mine. The visitors will sleep on the sofa. It's their bed, possessive adjective. The bed is theirs, pronoun. Okay, let's return to the passage about Maya and Willie now, and let's identify the possessives. First, our apartment, possessive adjective, right? Belongs to us, apartment, so it's a possessive adjective. Then, my desk, Willie says, belongs to Willie. Your desk, Maya says about Willie's desk, so your desk. My desk for Maya's desk, and our bedroom for the bedroom they share. Their bed for the guests on the sofa bed. And Willie says, our bed, wanting to be moved in first, and he has plans for the cat or his bed. The cat, obviously, is a male. And right now, he, that's the cat again, thinks what's ours, possessive pronoun, is his possessive pronoun. There we have it. Finally, let me explain just a couple of idiomatic expressions. Idiomatic expressions mean peculiar to English. I said originally that this was a passage about Maya and Willie, that they had just moved into an apartment. So move in or move into an apartment or a house or a condominium means to occupy or inhabit or live in for the first time. Turn on, we use with lights and electrical equipment, means to start. And spend the night, not spend the money. Spend the night means to stay for the night. Good. All right, now let's try practice. In this practice, you will have the opportunity to use possessives. I'll say a sentence, you use the information and make a sentence with his, her, their, possessive adjectives, right? Any sentence. So I'll say, Marta is married. And you'll say, her husband is Roberto. Or her children are Cleo and Reuben. Something like that. Another one. I'll say, Roberto is not married. And you'll say, his girlfriend is Rita, or his mother lives in Guatemala, something like that, but with a possessive adjective. All right? Here we go. Marta is married. Okay, her husband is Roberto. Roberto is not married. His girlfriend is Rita. Another woman, obviously. His brother owns a restaurant. Okay? Continue. Hideo and Yukiko have 2 children. Their children are intelligent. That's good. Or their children's names are Yoko and Mauru. Good. Professor Hill is a good instructor. His son is also a good teacher. Yeah. The students study very hard. Of course, their grades are very high. The bicycle is in the street. Its wheel is broken. It, bicycle, right? Or its tire is flat. Yukiko withdrew some money. All right, her account is finished. Now, let's do an exercise. In the exercise, we'll finish our work with possessives, and you'll complete sentences using the appropriate possessive adjective or possessive pronoun. Remember, adjective will be followed by a noun. The pronoun acts all by itself. For example, you'll see Robert has a book, and then blank book is War and Peace. You'll write his in the blank, the appropriate possessive adjective, right? Pretty easy. Here's another example. Raul and Marta own jackets. Marta's jacket is blue. His is brown. Okay? Possessive pronoun. Good. Pause your program. Look at the study guide. Complete this exercise, then return. Let's review the possessives. So you saw a sentence with a blank. Robert has a book. Blank book is War and Peace. And you provided the possessive, in this case, possessive adjective. His book is War and Peace. His referring to Robert. Then you did his is brown for Raoul's jacket. And then you did her husband is an engineer for Marta's. And her account is large, referring to Yukiko, and his is quite small, referring to Hideo. And her children are adults. Her refers to Mrs. Hill. They want their children to succeed. There refers to Professor and Mrs. Hill. Its chair is soft. Its refers to the cat. The students pay attention to his lectures. His refers to the professor. And the professor prepares his lectures carefully. His refers to the professor. Good job. Hello there. In this lesson, we'll begin our study of the present continuous tense in English. Sometimes this verb tense is called the present progressive tense. In any case, it's peculiar to English, and it has a very limited use, but common. The main verb in this tense is always formed with an ing form. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm teaching an English lesson now. Now, you noticed when I said it, I was also teaching it. The action is now, right present. I'm completing the action now. Same story. I'm speaking now, actually at this particular time. Okay. And if you are going to ask a question of me, then the question takes this form. What are you doing now? Okay? Now, take a look at this illustration. We use the present continuous tense in English to show action at the time of speaking. Action occurring now. We can't go outside. It's raining. It's raining now, right? We can't go outside. The children can't play. They're studying now. They are studying. They're working very hard now. Are working. So, this tense is made of two verb forms. A form of the verb be and the main verb in an ing form. Take a look at this. Be and the verb in the ing form. So, I am is the be form. Writing on the blackboard now. Or she is making a bank deposit. He is making a bank deposit. We are withdrawing the cash. You are withdrawing the cash. They are withdrawing the cash. Be plus ing verb. A few more points about this present continuous tense. The verb form makes regular be verb contractions. So, I'm working now. I'm studying now. He, she, or it's. He's studying now. He's speaking now. We're speaking, you're speaking, they're speaking. And negatives. Negative verb forms also make regular be verb negatives, so it's kind of easy. She is not paying the bill. Or contracted, she's not paying the bill. Okay? And questions? Same story. They're regular, inverting or reversing subject and verb. Are you banking at First National? Yes, I am. Is Yukiko making a deposit? Yes, she is. Okay? The be verb is called the auxiliary verb, auxiliary helping, and the ing verb is called the main verb. Good. So let's try a practice. I'll make requests, polite requests, of course, and you can make present continuous tense sentences with I, we, she, it, he, they. Okay? So, for example, I'll say, Juan, please write your name now. And you'll say, if you're Juan, for example, I'm writing my name now. Or, if you want to comment about Juan, you can say, he's writing his name now. Is writing. Okay? Another example, all of you, please make bank deposits. And you'll say, we're making bank deposits. Okay, let's go. Juan, please write your name. He's writing his name. Good. Or Juan is writing his name. All of you, please make bank deposits. Yeah, we're making bank deposits. Helen, please withdraw $100. She's withdrawing $100 now, or Helen's withdrawing $100 now. Please put your bank card in the ATM slot. Okay, we're putting our bank cards in the ATM slot. You, please go to the teller's window. I'm going to the teller's window. Or I'm going to the teller's window now. Juan and Helen, please ask the teller for some traveler's checks. Yes, so they're asking the teller for some traveler's checks. And all of us, let's sit in our chairs. Okay? We're sitting in our chairs. Great. All right, let's do an exercise. In this exercise, you'll have practice writing present continuous tense sentences. In your study guide, you'll see sentence prompts for each sentence. A prompt is a clue or a hint. So you'll see the adult, the piano, play. And you'll write, the adult is playing the piano, or pronoun. He is playing the piano, she is playing the piano. Another example, Yukiko, some cash, deposit. And you write, Yukiko is depositing some cash. Good. All right, let's try them. Pause your program, look at your study guide, and please do the exercise. Return here afterwards. Let's review that exercise. You saw 3 prompts, the adult, the piano, play, and you wrote present tense continuous sentence. The adult is playing the piano, or you used a pronoun. He is playing the piano. Next one, Yukiko is depositing some cash. They are living on the peninsula now. He's reading a long passage, or Raul is reading a long passage. Rebecca is providing for her children. Mina and Farah are withdrawing all of their savings, or they are withdrawing all of their savings. She is opening a bank account. Hideo and Yukiko are exchanging their yen, or they're exchanging their yen. That's very good. Back again. In this lesson, we will continue our practice with the present continuous tense. We learned that this verb tense expresses action occurring now, or at the time of speaking, time of action. Look at these other uses. We use the present continuous tense when we talk about events which happen approximately at the time of speaking. You'll see what I mean. Maria is studying English this semester. Farah and Hideo are saving money to buy a car. Roberto says that he is reading a great book. All right? And we use this verb tense when we discuss or talk about things which happen around the present time. Here are some examples. This summer, Roberto is building a house. These days, everyone is studying Japanese. Or nowadays, people are buying very expensive computer monitors. Okay? Notice that these sentences all express actions which are processes, ing, that the action takes time for its completion, is building, is studying, are buying, and we say the action is continuous. Okay? So, remember this question from the last lesson? What are you doing? Look at all the possibilities. What am I doing? What are you doing? What is she doing? What are we doing? And what are they doing? Okay, the questions are formed in the present continuous tense, is doing, are doing. And they ask for information in the same tense. So the answers look like this, right? I'm watching television. You're listening to the radio. She's saving to buy an automobile. We're trying to learn English. And they're teaching us Italian. Okay, let's try some practice. Let's practice some of these present continuous verb expressions. And this is an oral practice, so please speak aloud. We'll use sentences which involve time around the time of speaking. Involves means refer to or associate with. I'll ask a question about you, about him or her, or about us, or about them. What is Alex doing nowadays? Answer, any answer. He is writing his master's thesis, or he is studying French, or he is saving to buy a house. Good, right? Is saving. Let's try another example. What are you doing these days? You could say, I'm learning to drive, or I'm studying to be a medical doctor, or I'm collecting stamps. Okay? Let's begin. What is Alex doing nowadays? You bet. He's writing his master's thesis. What are you doing these days? I'm studying French. What's he doing? He's writing a book. Great. What are you doing these days? I'm collecting foreign coins. That's good. What are they doing this week? They're learning a dialogue. Good. What are Maria and Hideo doing nowadays? They're withdrawing money, right? Or they're studying English. Good. What am I doing this season? As always, you're teaching English. What's she doing this evening? Great, she's studying for her examination. That's perfect. Now, are you ready for an exercise? Okay, so we'll use some new verbs in presenting continuous situations. These verbs are used to indicate changing situations, ing situations, right? Look at the words listed at the beginning of the exercise. Become, change, drop, fall, get, grow, improve, increase, rise. You'll need to complete each sentence with the appropriate verb. And you'll need to make the verb present continuous. So, for example, you'll see the number of people in the world blank, and you'll choose the word, change. Is changing, or increase, is increasing, right? Here's another one. Nowadays, foreign language instruction, same thing. You could choose the word change. Foreign language instruction is changing. Great. Okay? Pause. Look at your study guide and continue the exercise. Then return here. All right, let's review the exercise. You saw the sentence, the number of people in the world, and you chose a word from the word list, change, and you wrote, the number of people in the world is changing. Great. Then, nowadays, foreign language instruction is improving. Everything is changing. Nothing stays the same. The world economy is becoming worse every day. Good. Nowadays, medical knowledge is improving rapidly. Okay? Children of today are becoming smarter or are getting smarter. Good. The number of jobs these days is increasing. Okay. And supermarket prices are increasing very fast or are rising very fast. Good job. Hello again. In this lesson, we will consider WH question words with the present continuous tense. You'll remember these questions from the last lesson. What are you doing? Answer, I'm withdrawing some money. What is he doing? He's making a deposit. What are they doing? They are waiting for a teller. We learned in the last lesson that these questions require present continuous tense statements for answers. The answer to what is actually a verb, present continuous. So what means withdrawing something or waiting for something. All right? Now let's look at some additional WH question words, and we will see them in present continuous tense questions. We use what, who, where, and why in present continuous tense questions also. Notice that each asks for different information. What are you withdrawing? I'm withdrawing some money. What asks for objects or things? Whom are they waiting for? They're waiting for a teller. Whom asks for people. And where are they banking? They're banking at First National, where asks for a location or place. Okay? What for actions or objects, who for people, and where, location or place. And why, listen to this, why are they making a deposit? They need to write checks. Why asks for the reason or explanation. Notice that the reason for information, that information is making a deposit. They are making a deposit because they need to write checks. Let's practice some of these questions and I'd like you to speak out loud. I'll present some information, and you make a present continuous tense question. Pay attention to the information. So, for example, I'll say the information, making a deposit, and you create the question. What's he doing? What's she doing? She's making a deposit. Okay? Because they need cash. Why are they withdrawing some cash? Why are they withdrawing some money? Because they need cash. Okay? Let's try these. Making a deposit. What's she doing? Perfect. Because they need cash. Why are they withdrawing some money? That's good. Using an ATM. What's he doing? Exactly. At the teller's window. Where are they standing? Good. Or where are they waiting? Perfect. Because she wants traveler's checks. Yes. Why is she standing in line? Or another one, why is she going to the bank? Signing her traveler's checks. What is she doing? Yes. Because we want to learn English. Why are we studying? Or why are we practicing? Right? Exchanging yen for dollars. What is he doing? Okay. You could say, what is he exchanging? That's great. Now, are you ready for an exercise? All right. In this exercise, we'll continue making questions in the present continuous tense. In this exercise, however, you'll see a sentence like, Yukiko is buying traveler's checks, and you must write an appropriate question, okay? So, what is she doing? Or what is Yukiko doing? Yukiko is making a deposit at the bank. You could write, what is she doing? Okay, good. Put your program on pause, look at the study guide, and continue the exercise. Then return here. Let's review. Yukiko is buying traveler's checks. That's what you saw. And you wrote the question. What is she doing? Good. Yukiko is making a deposit at First National Bank. You wrote, what is she doing? Where is she making a deposit? Is also good. You saw Maria is using the internet. You wrote, what is she doing? Exactly. The Hills are moving into a new house. You wrote, what are they doing? Or maybe you wrote, where are they moving? Into a new house. Good. Willie and Maya are buying a sofa. You wrote, what are they doing? Maybe you wrote, what are they buying? Also good. And they are moving their desks. What are they doing? Or maybe, what are they moving? Also good. And finally, the cat is sleeping on their bed. You wrote, what is sleeping on their bed? Maybe. Or who is sleeping on their bed? Maybe. Or where is it sleeping? It, the cat. That's good. And a good job. I'm back. In this lesson, we will compare the verb tense we have just studied. Just means very recently, right? That is present continuous tense. And we'll compare it to the simple present tense. Listen to these statements and listen carefully to the verb tenses. Gerard is a bus driver in the city. He isn't driving a bus today, however. Today is his day off. A day off is a vacation day. He usually takes Wednesdays off, but this month he is taking Saturdays off. He is also taking tomorrow off. So what is Gerard doing now? He's sleeping in. Although his alarm clock went off an hour ago, Gerard is still asleep. What's Gerard doing on his day off? He's sleeping in. To sleep in means to sleep longer than usual in the morning. Okay? Now, I'm going to read those statements again. Look at the statements on screen. Gerard is a bus driver in the city. He isn't driving a bus today, however. Today is his day off. He usually takes Wednesdays off, but this month he is taking Saturdays off. He is also taking tomorrow off. So what is Gerard doing now? He's sleeping in. Although his alarm clock went off an hour ago, Gerard is still asleep. What's Gerard doing on his day off? He's sleeping in. Okay, as you have heard and seen, there are several verb tenses in this passage. You know all of the verbs from previous lessons. You know their meanings. There are be verbs and other verbs. Now let's look at some of these verbs in detail. They are actually two-word verbs. You can see them highlighted in the bus driver passage. There is take time off, like take Wednesday off, or take off time, take off Wednesday. Take something off, clothes, for example, or take off something. And then take off an amount. For example, take 10% off of the price, or take an amount off, take 10% off. Okay? There's also alarms or bells or bombs that go off. As in our passage, the alarm clock went off, and then go off someplace, location, or go off with somebody, and then, as in our text, sleep in, to sleep longer. Those are just a few examples of two-word verbs, but they are a lot and very common in English. They're called phrasal verbs. All right, let's practice some of those phrasal verbs now. I'll ask a question in the present or present continuous tense, and then I'll say a prompt for information. And you'll make the sentence. For example, what's he taking off? Glasses. And you make the sentence, he's taking off his glasses. Another one. What's he taking off? His tie. You say, he's taking off his tie. Okay, let's try them. What's he taking off? Glasses. He's taking off his glasses. Good. What's he taking off? His shoes. He's taking off his shoes. All right. What's going off? The alarm clock. The alarm clock is going off. Good. When are they taking off? Wednesday. They're taking off Wednesday. When does she take off? Sunday. She takes off Sunday. Good. When does the alarm usually go off? 7 o'clock. It usually goes off at 7 o'clock, or the alarm usually goes off at 7 o'clock. What are they taking off? Jackets. They're taking off their jackets. Good. Now listen to this one. Why is Gerard taking off? Because. Good. Because he is sleeping in. Okay. And how much is he taking off the price? $18. He's taking off $18, or he's taking $18 off of the price. That's great. Now let's try an exercise. This exercise is based on the passage about Gerard. So you've got a couple of things to do. You must identify the verbs in each sentence. There might be more than one, and they might be two-word verbs. and then write the verb tense. Present, present continuous, or just past. Kind of fun, huh? Let's do a couple of examples. Gerard is a bus driver in the city. The verb is, and the verb tense, present. Let's look at another one. He isn't driving a bus today, however. The verb isn't driving, and the tense, present continuous. Okay? Put your program on pause and look at the study guide. Complete this exercise, and we'll review it later. Okay, let's review that exercise. You saw Gerard is a bus driver in the city. Main verb is, present tense. He isn't driving a bus today, however. Isn't driving, present continuous tense. Today is his day off. Main verb is, present. He usually takes Wednesdays off. Takes off, present tense. But this month he is taking Saturdays off. Is taking off, present continuous tense. He is also taking tomorrow off. Is taking off, present continuous tense. So what is Gerard doing now? Is doing, present continuous tense. He's sleeping in. Is sleeping in, present continuous tense. Although his alarm clock went off an hour ago, went off, past tense. Gerard is still asleep. Is main verb, present tense. What's Gerard doing on his day off? Is doing, present continuous tense. He's sleeping in. Is sleeping in, present continuous tense. That's a good job.